有冇需要中文嘅？有冇需要廣東話嘅？We're going to go straight English. Wonderful. Okay, questions for our director. This amazingly interesting. Okay, 咪又唔該第三行。
Thank you for the film. It's very interesting. I've got two questions. I mean, or actually one is
one short, one short.
Yeah, one is more like a comment. I used to live in the U.S. I left in 2003. I can't remember seeing so much. So much sort of American flag things on people wearing it. Has that changed, or is it just my imagination? And number two, the second question is, Adolf Hitler, is he considered good or bad by the Republicans? Because I can't really tell anymore. Thank you.
Well, you might not be able to speak for the Republicans, but first of all, flags. Flags. First of all, start with flags.
Where did you used to live in the U.S.?
You were in big cities. You were in big cities. Small town in Wisconsin, but then Philadelphia, big city.
Because it's one thing that we often forget when we go to the U.S. as tourists. It's we love to go from one coast to the other one, sometimes to Chicago, sometimes to New Orleans, and we forget a big chunk of that country, which is in between the coast, which is America. And of course, you don't want to visit E-Town. I do understand you will spend a year there, so it's not the best place for your holidays. But to answer your question, they love the flags. They always did. But for sure, since the first Trump's mandate, this nationalism has been without complex anymore. You put your flag, you put Trump, you put yard signs, and it's probably more prominent now than it used to be in Philadelphia.
Okay, and then the second question, maybe
I got
the Republicans, whether they consider Hitler good or bad. Well, we can't speak
ask
for them.
them.
Sorry, you have to ask them. Okay, another question. May Yi-hong, okay.
Hello, and when I see the documentary, I know that they say the library have to choose the book. Because when I watching this part, I have the personal feeling for me, because when I working in school library in Hong Kong, and it's feel very horrible that when we choose the book, we can to
self-censor 係咪？你可以講廣東話冇問題，我幫你。
因為其實係因為我自己係做學校圖書館嘅，咁頭先其實喺電影裏面就講到話佢哋係封咗，即係用咗嗰啲封咗嗰啲紙去封咗個圖書館，咁其實都係一件幾危險嘅事，因為對於嗰個言論自由有嗰個問題。
係問題，你就問問題得啦，我解釋佢先。
你點樣睇封咗圖書館嗰個位啊
？The problem of school libraries. She actually is a school librarian. The problem of school libraries in which they actually put books actually basically blocking them, or she said that using tape to actually tape them up.
Well, it's what they are trying to do, because of course it takes time and so on. But since we finished the film, it got even worse, because now the new school board, far right, evangelical, whatever, this school board, you see 9 members all coming from the Republican Party. They want to close the library, purely simply. No more problem with tapes, no more problem with unit or whatever. They want to close it, and they will discuss about it. So you see how far it can go, and very fast, and it's very concerning for the future of these kids. If you don't have access to books, you don't have access to the world, you have access to no knowledge. That's my opinion.
Thank you. 答咗呢個問題啦。Okay, another question. 第三個問題。呢度。Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question. When you design to follow the different groups, are you designed to from what perspective to make those groups different? because I can see when they are voting or discussing about the taxpayer, like 3% taxpayer stuff. I feel like some people are more from the root grass level, and some are like don't think that a big deal group. And I see when they are gathering, like talking about the church stuff and invite somebody from DC, from New York, like those people seem to be richer and they have a different opinion when you like follow different groups. Are you designed to following different groups, like from what perspective?
Yeah.
From the rich, richer one or poor one, or like from
Your
this
choice of, sorry,
Thank you.
盡快嚇.
Yeah.
Your choice of actually defining or selecting communities. Also, the thing is, you can see that when they discuss the 3% raise, as a raise in taxes, some people who might be more affluent didn't really consider that a major problem, while others might. So the thing is, clearly there is a huge gap between the different communities. How do you select these communities as you portray your documentary?
Well, I do direct cinema, which means I'm a fly on the wall. I don't do narration, as you noticed probably. I don't do interviews. I didn't select a community or another. We arrived with my assistant director and sound person.
Julia, yes.
She deserves some applause as well because
Yes.
we are
Good job,
a
good job.
two-person
Good
team
job.
for a year, so I didn't have to select anything. They are in front of me. You have the far right, evangelical, the new Republican Party, very, very in favor of Trump, and in front of them you have the what we call to go fight the Democrats, and the fracture is already there. And I didn't have to select a group. There is only 2 groups. I didn't have to choose amongst 10 groups. No, the political divide is there. The social divide is there between these people you see. Talking about the tax, it's not because people are more affluent than others that they want, a 5% tax or 3% tax. I think the far right wants a 0% tax, even if some of them are really affluent and could afford probably 10%, because the idea is to change deeply public education as we know it. And if public education does not receive enough money, what do? And they started to do it. You lay off teachers, you lay off psychologists, servants,
the counselors. Counselors in
Thank
school.
you for speaking better English than mine. You started, to get rid of people, and you make public education poorer, because a lot of these far right Christians are really in favor of homeschooling, which is legal in the U.S. And homeschooling, what do? As a mother, you can start in the morning with the Bible, and then you go to the church, and then you choose the program. Yeah, there is no book, there is no Shakespeare, there is no anything that could maybe hurt the feelings of your kids. So they want to control the content of the education. And how do you control the world? Money.
Money, and then the minds of young people and how they grow up.
Of course. Yeah. They are working on the future of this beautiful country called the US of A. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Another question? 呢一度，跟住就最後吧。Okay. Thank you for very good questions. 有需要嘅講中文快啲，我亦即刻幫你譯都得。
咁我不如廣東話。
冇問題。
我哋唔講政治同宗教啊，即係頭先即係都見到一個小鎮入邊呢啲嘅平凡人物、小人物，佢哋即係頭先即係其中一位嘅被訪問嘅牧師都有講，佢哋係被即係 fear 被恐懼驅使。請問導演有冇其他諗法？即係除咗呢一個因素之外，有冇其他嘅可能性咧？咁樣
你講嘅可能性
係即係驅使佢哋做呢啲嘅選擇。
Because as you can tell, you can see this is a small town. These are all basically what you call common people, normal people. But you hear one pastor who said very clearly that a lot of this is actually driven by fear. People are fearful. That's why they do what they do, because they are afraid. So I want to know whether there are other solutions to that, apart from fear.
I don't know if there is a solution. I don't know how to correct fear. My solution to get access to, especially the far right people you see in the film, who usually hate anybody carrying a camera, as you can imagine. And the Democrats were also, because they fear to be exposed. They were not really happy about maybe being followed for so many months on. My solution is to listen even to people that are saying things that are absolutely troubling me or shocking me. And my solution in that film was, and it's true for any film that I can make, it's always to try to see the human in the person that I'm looking at, whatever their opinions, to see that there is beauty in any one of us, even if we agree to disagree. There is one thing that we can maybe agree on. So I think it's to, hate comes from fear, absolutely. So it's just to listen to your opponent.
Thank you. And then another question here.
Sir, yes. How does it make sense that these kinds of people, they are anti-government, but on the same time they support Trump to run the same government? How does it make sense in ideology?
Okay, anti-government, but actually they clearly believe that they want to control the government.
That's a good one. That's a good one. They are anti-government when it's not the president they want in charge, and they are extremely pro-government when they took the power. You know, it's they don't, and they are trying to change the institutions anyway, as you can see what Trump and Musk and all the rest are doing. But you don't like the government when you don't support the government, and when you take over the White House, you are deeply in love with it.
So it is love or hate and believe or not believe, huh? One last question, a short one. Okay.
谢谢，那我可以讲中文。就是我想问一个非常基础的问题，就是对于这个片子的创作背景，因为您作为一个法国导演去拍这样的一个美国的这么具体的选举的故事，以及您觉得您作为法国导演在拍这样故事的过程中会有一种欧洲视角，或者是您觉得这个不重要吗？谢谢。
Okay, question
Well, I don't know
you know
how
what
to
she
answer
said?
that.
No. Okay, because
Surprise!
I mean, the thing is, you're not American, you're from France. So the question is that the perspective or the distance, and do you think that therefore it is an advantage? I mean, just want to know, to hear more about you being French and looking at the story and making such a film.
I think there is it's mixed, meaning that my approach as a filmmaker coming from Europe is different from what Americans could do. But the fact that I'm very, very familiar with the American culture helped as well, because they were not completely, oh my goodness, a French you, what will they do, frogs? And I know the culture, I know the politics, I lived there for many years, so they were at ease with me. And I think that's a detail, but for some of them, especially the far right, I had two lives. That's why I'm old. But in my first life, I was a journalist and a war correspondent covering wars. And they were very impressed by that. You know, they love wars, especially when others are covering them or going there. And so it was a mixture. I think being French helped for the first step, and then being kind of Americanized, as I call it, helped even more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending the
Thank you.
second screening of this documentary that is in competition for the Firebird Award ceremony tonight. All good luck.
Yes.
Yes.
I want the bird.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you for attending, and thank you for supporting the Hong Kong International
Thank you for
Film
coming.
Festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Thank you, Joanna.